KILR KILR Games.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer and welcome to my tour around the world featuring the ever classic Flight Simulator 4 by Microsoft. Well, we got a little bit of a flight ahead of us here. We're going to be headed back east to Eau Claire. There, in some of the previous videos, I was calling it Eau Claire, but I wanted to make sure I pronounced it right, so I looked up the pronunciation, and it's Eau Claire, like, oh Claire, how fair you are. Poetry is not my strong point. Anyway, let's go ahead and I'll just show this to you on our map here, which is going to be our IFR map. Let's see, right here. Okay, so we're here in Darwin at Litchfield Municipal. So we're going to be going, I think what I'd like to do here is, I do have the Gopher navigational VOR into. I did create it. Remember, we're in an area that does not have any default coverage, not from Microsoft, not from Sublogic. We had to create our own navigational beacons and the airports. So yeah, so we're going to go here to Gopher first. And then we should be able to take this out. I would say if we come out here at, that's assuming I have these VORs in the right place, okay? So if we move out here at a 085 radial, we should be able to keep this one tuned in while the Eau Claire one comes into range. And then we can just, I've got the airport just smack right on top of the VOR because I'm just trying to do this for reference. I'm not trying to get it pinpointed exactly the way it should be. I'm just doing this for the purposes so that way we can still do our tour. Because the Sublogic flight simulators, Commodore 64 and the Amiga, and even Microsoft Flight Simulator 2 and 3 are not going to be able to follow us. They'll have to wait until we get back to La Crosse, and then we'll be able to pick up from there. Now, the later simulators not going to be a problem, but I don't want to sit here and spend all this time putting all this scenery in and trying to hold up the process. We just want to be able to follow along the best that we can. Now, maybe that makes for an interesting video. Maybe that makes it for a boring video. I don't know. I'm just following. I just want to do it so that way we're keeping things consistent, as much as we can. But with that in mind, I'm going to keep this tuned in on my screen here. So I'm just going to tune in Gopher, and we'll just go directly to it. We'll just go for it directly to it, and then we'll head out at a 085 radio. Sound good? I thought so. All right, let's get this puppy started. always got that weird sound. And then it does that. Then we got our engine that goes, Levi's. Levi's. You're not going to hear it unless you have headphones on. So we'll just head to the end of the runway here. Boy, is it me or is this runway doing something weird? It's like, yeah, it's going back and forth. Now, as we do... Yeah, we stopped. Okay. As we move along through the tour, I will try to get a little bit more detailed with the scenery. Like, I'll at least try to plop down a polygon of some sort to represent the city, maybe a few buildings. Right now we're working on a scenery area that is running out of space. And if I put too much on there, I'm not going to be able to put the remainder of the airports that we need. And I've got all the navigational beacons in, so I may have to, considering the number of airports we're going to, I may have to make a whole nother one. But I would have to re-input all the navigational beacons. I kept all of my data, so I kept all the XY coordinates. But I am recording all of these flights in a block, so that way I can get them edited together, scheduled out, which gives me a little bit more time to actually put some work into these airports. For the ones that I can't find on flightsim.com, where people have already made scenery. For the most part, I really couldn't find anything in the area that we're going, so... But this will be good practice. Alright. Gopher is 117.3. We're going to put that right here. We're going to change our nav to it, so we're 46 miles away from that. And then we'll head on to Eau Claire. Eau Claire, we're coming. Is she the cheerleader? The cheerleader that will save the world? No, because it's spelled differently. That just looks like it's just flying by, doesn't it? A lot faster than what it should. Alright, let's tune this bad boy in. Well, that wasn't the direction. We need to go to, not from. Okay, a heading of 5-8. So we'll head on that way now. overshot it. And there we go. We're all set to go. We got mostly clear skies. I have a few clouds out there. Let's change our angle here so we can get some speed. Otherwise, it'll take forever to get to Eau Claire. I'm using elevator trim. Here's the weird thing. When I bring the elevator trim down, it should be moving this down also. I don't know why it's not. Of course, I just realized I may not have to do this. I could set our autopilot. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's see. 5, autopilot. Where are you? F. Alright. Altitude lock is 4. Let's set that for 3,000. We'll turn on the autopilot and should be good from here. We don't need to go any higher. This area should have an altitude of 600, except for the airport we were just at, which was 0. I don't know why. I haven't really found a way to actually change the terrain so that way it's at the right altitude. But the only thing I can think of is creating a polygon at the altitude that it should be at, and then the runway on top of that. But I think all that's going to do is look like there's a floating platform, because you would have to change this whole thing, and well, I'm not about to do all that. So we'll just go with how everything should be. As a matter of fact, hold on a second here. Let's go to 5. Let's go to Scenery Library. And let's make sure that Scenery Disk 9 is loaded. Even though we're not in Scenery Disk 9, since we're out of that area, it should load in like North America. If we don't have that scenery disk loaded in, then it won't. But so here, I'll show you. Let's go to map display here. So in this little window here, if I zoom out, you can see that we've got North America. It's on its side, but if you look, you can see the Great Lakes here. Here's Mexico, Central America, Canada. So I don't know what happened there. And then some islands. But from what I've been able to tell, this is the majority of what we have, really. And I don't know if they've got all the elevations set or not. It may just be completely flat all the way from coast to coast. But we would have to load in a European scenery disk from SubLogic to get the continent of Europe. But that's all there is. Go back and turn that off. I'm not sure how we're going to do Africa or Asia. I did find scenery for those areas. Now maybe someone else created the continent, and if so, yay. We'll be good. If the whole world is based on X and Y coordinates, and it's correct here in Flight Simulator, then theoretically, we should be able to fly around the world to all the different countries and continents that I'm planning. But we'll have to take that as we go. One country at a time. So the plan here is we're going to, well, while we're flying here, I'm going to go ahead and pull up chills. Someone stepped on my grave. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Google Maps, and I want to give you kind of an idea of where we're going. Now this is subject to change. There's an Eau Claire, Michigan? Oh, wait, we're nowhere near. No, but Michigan's on the way. Huh, there is. And I think that is actually one of the places I was planning on stop too, was Eau Claire. Well, you know we're going to have to stop there. We've gone to one Eau Claire, we got to go to the other one too. Okay, I believe I have the map up here. Alright, that's going to block the view. That's okay, there's nothing to see. I'm keeping an eye on it, don't worry. Alright, so here we are, here we are, Minneapolis. We're going to be approaching that. Where is Litchfield? Okay, so here's Litchfield. So I could have drawn out a road from Litchfield to Minneapolis, and that would have given us a line that we can look at. There would be some scenery. Look, there's a road. It's a line. I sure don't think I would have gone through and drawn all these lines, though. That's what I mean. I mean, you can sit here and get real detailed, and I would never get any flying done if I did that. So I'm not. The goal here is to travel around the world. It's not to sit here and make detailed scenery. There's people out there that can do better scenery than I can. But, so we're planning to go to Eau Claire, and that opened up. I didn't want that to open up. From here, my plan is to go to Rush City, which I'm not seeing at the moment. I believe that is in Minnesota. But I do see Hinckley, so we will be going to Hinckley. It's a small town that I wouldn't mind doing a documentary on with X-Plane, because I do all my documentaries of where we fly to on X-Plane. So from Hinckley, we're going to be flying up here. We'll go to Duluth, and then we're going to fly back west and go to Grand Rapids. So the reason why I want to go to Grand Rapids is because there's a Grand Rapids, Michigan also. So it's just over here. It'll still be a flight, but I don't want to leave that out, because once we leave this area, it's going to be a long time before we get back. And we will cover the rest of these areas. But for right now, we're just kind of climbing up into this area. We're not exploring Minnesota in full. It's mainly Wisconsin that we're doing, but I'm hitting some of the highlights along the eastern edge of Minnesota. So we'll come back from Grand Rapids and we'll land here in Superior, because there's a very interesting, the Richard I. Bong Airport. It's a very interesting design that I've not quite seen before, where the runways are like this, I should say this, where it's just a little bit out, and then there's this little curve for a taxiway in between. So it's interesting. I found that interesting. And I found a payware scenery. I forgot who it's from, but I have it marked down. It's like $5. You install this installer of some sort, and you do this a la carte thing with sceneries, with different airports. And that one is covered, so, and not here, FSX. So I definitely want to make use of that. We are falling off of our void here. That should do it. Yeah, so along the way, I'll be getting some payware airports, so that way we can review things along the way. And this is on the other simulators. Because again, this is more than just flying around the world. I'm trying to make, the most that I can out of it. So, if there are payware airports, I'll be picking those up as we move along. So that way you, the viewer, can get the benefit out of this world tour as well. Maybe not just for entertainment reasons, but maybe some practical reasons. Because we might go to an airport that you're interested in, and if we've got a payware scenery, you may look at that and say, oh, you know what, I like that. But not only that, but also custom scenery that other people have made. So that's another thing that we're going to be looking at. So if you're looking for detail on a certain airport, us reviewing and sharing it might actually help. And not only that, but other types of expansions, air traffic control, AI traffic, weather, different types of things. And each of the simulators have their own unique little flair to them. So, and that's why I'm doing all these simulators. I'm doing it for retro reasons, so that way I can relive the experience of traveling around the world, which I have done, or mostly done, on some of these simulators. And I just want to relive that again. But there are other cases where I never did do it on certain simulators. So FS4, I never played before. I played the Amiga version, which was still Sublogic Flight Simulator 2. And that had less coverage than the Commodore 64. But Flight Simulator 5, which was the first PC version that I bought, 5.1, and I still have my box. I still have my box. This one I actually did fly around the world with. Not in the detail that we're doing right now, but I did fly around. And that was fun. I had a great time. I remember flying mostly over the North Pole to get from one side to the other. And I did a lot of it with a Cessna. Now, I don't want to do everything with the Cessna. I want to be able to change aircraft too. Because by the time I'm done with this world tour, I might be done. I may have had my fill of Flight Simulator to last me for the rest of my life. Because as much as I've got planned, I think this is going to be going on for 5-10 years. Hopefully not more than 10. And to think that I'm going to be doing documentaries to all these places, it's going to be a great series. I would never be able to do this in real life. Anyway, back to the map. We'll be heading west. I know I've got Ashland planned. We'll head back. There is Sky Harbor, which is right down here. We're not seeing it. Where is that? Should be right here. That's weird that oh, here it is. It's right here. I thought this would be an interesting airport to land. Plus, because it's Sky Harbor Regional, I thought it would be interesting because in Phoenix, there's a Sky Harbor International. So I thought some people might make that or find that interesting. Cornucopia. There is like a grass field here, but I like the name of this, so I figured that would be an interesting place to check out. I don't know if there's anything over here with the Apostle Islands. This would be interesting, or Sand Island. If there are, I mean, we may do like a VFR flight over this. But then, what are we doing here? How much is there? We'll be covering this area. I think we might come over here. I know I have plans to go here to Salt. I think STE is Sault Ste. Marie. And there's actually a second airport over here too that's named the same. So, but I had this plan later, but we might bring it up earlier in the flight. Give us a chance to cross into Canada a little bit, and then we'll come back. And I'll be hitting some of these areas. Green Bay, right here. Got to hit Green Bay. And what else? I thought there was another place in here. Oshkosh, definitely. But we'll be heading back to La Crosse. And then the other, the older flight simulators will catch up with us. And then we'll continue, because this is the edge of the scenery. Disc number 9 is right here. And then we'll be coming back down south again and hitting Milwaukee, definitely. Rockford. We will come back to Chicago again. Definitely O'Hare, because there is an airport that I've got for Flight Simulator 2000 that I had gotten after the fact that I definitely want to make use of. And instead of coming around the lake, I wanted to fly over the lake. But we'll fly over the lake. There's Muskegon, then there's Grand Rapids. And I'll want to go up into this area and back down. Hit Saginaw, Lansing, Detroit, Toledo, South Bend, Fort Wayne. You can see how this is going to take a while. Possibly coming down here to Indiana and Cincinnati. Maybe Louisville. I mean, got to be careful. Otherwise we're going to keep going. We don't want to do that. But Louisville is not too far from Cincinnati. So we might come around and hit these. But we're basically going east. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. But we'll be hitting these areas before we hit the areas in Ohio, because we're going to go to Niagara Falls and up around here, and we will go to Sudbury. We're going to climb back up in here into Canada a little bit more, and then we'll come back down, and then we'll be working our way into, I think this is Pennsylvania, yeah, or is this New York? No, Pennsylvania is down here, and this is New York. So we'll be going through here, through New York, Pennsylvania. I do want to hit Washington, D.C., but we're going to be working our way up. New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island. We'll be hitting all of this here, and we will cross into Canada as we're going around. We'll hit Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City, Maine. We'll get Saguenay. Sure. We'll get into New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. We'll see if there's any airports around the coast here. But then we'll be going into Newfoundland, and then we got ourselves. See, I don't know if there's any airports along here, but we'll be crossing over the Labrador Sea, going to Greenland, and then we'll be going to Iceland, and then we'll come down to the Faroe Islands, and then coming right down here into Europe. Okay. Just to show you where we're at, we're now heading away from the VOR, so I need to change our vector here, which was 085. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. I would have liked to have a little bit of detail for Minnesota, but like I said, I I'm not going to be able to spend a lot of time on everything. Let's see here. Eau Claire is 112.9. So we're going to get this set. 112.9. Okay, it hasn't come in yet. We're not close. Let's see. According to the map, we're going to want to... Oh, that's right. We're going to wait for this to tune in. I don't know. We may just fly the route that we're flying and catch the back course on 286. I like these old ones because it shows you the back course on it. Makes it just a little bit more easier. Oh, hey, it's there. Alright, we're 69 miles away. Well, since we're there, let's go ahead and get it tuned in. I definitely don't think I have that place in the right spot. Based on the map, it should have been south. And we're going north at the moment. Yeah, I did the best that I could. I had to use Flight Simulator 5 to type in longitude and latitude and then get the XY coordinates from that to be able to put in the Flight Simulator 4. I think it's somewhat close. But that was the best way that I could think of to actually do this. Alright, so yeah, we'll come through here, through England, and we're definitely going to be hitting all these countries here. Norway, Sweden, Finland. We'll go in. I definitely want to get to Moscow during this period. We will come south and hit Turkey and these countries. We're not going to go too far east. There's a reason why. I'm trying to give fair share on both hemispheres of the planet. So I don't want to... See, originally I was going to head west on the U.S. And I decided not to do that because it would take a long time before I actually got to Europe. And there's coverage for Flight Simulator 2 and 3 for Europe. So I want to take advantage of that. But you'll get the idea of what I'm doing here. So we'll definitely come through and hit Afghanistan, Pakistan. I don't think we're going to go to India yet. But we'll come through and back around. We'll come back around west, and we'll go into Saudi Arabia, and then we'll start hitting Africa, and we're gonna get the whole thing of Africa and Madagascar. I would like to try Antarctica. I don't think there's any airports there in Antarctica. Well, wait, what's all this down here? Hold on. As we spin around. Concord Station. Who knows? I don't know. If I can find airports or something down there, we will definitely go to Antarctica. But after South America, we're going to be heading... Whoops, that's not Africa. That's America. After Africa, we're going to be crossing the ocean again and coming down here and hitting all of South America. Central America, Mexico, we'll hit these islands here. And then we're going to come back over here to the East Coast. And we will get all of these states here. And then we'll finish up the remainder of the United States by kind of going up and down like this. As well as Canada. So we'll come through and do this number. And we'll come down here to California. And I think from here, from either Los Angeles or San Diego, I'm not sure which one, but we're going to make the flight to Hawaii. And we'll be going through the islands of Hawaii. And then we'll be making that long flight from Hawaii to Japan. And then we'll come through and hit South and North Korea. We'll come up and up through Russia. And we'll come back into North America, get Alaska, and get anything that we can find up here. It looks like there's quite a bit up here. So yeah, we'll come back up around here, come back. We'll hit the remainder of Russia, then hit Mongolia, China, and then we'll hit India, Bangladesh, all through here, Thailand, Vietnam, Taiwan, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore. But we'll just travel all this way down. We'll get Australia, New Zealand, and if there's any airports around these islands, we'll get those. But I may have to work our way around. So I'll try to plan it so we're not going to the same areas twice. But yeah, we'll be working our way back. And then we'll finish up. We'll hit some airports. I don't know. I might go through back over here to the United States and maybe hit some more airports that we didn't hit the first time. And then our tour will end at Litchfield. Or I might continue going through here again. I think there's going to be more interest for the countries other than the United States. I think the majority of my viewers are going to be from the U.S. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I think there's going to be more interest in seeing these other countries rather than the U.S. And I think it will definitely be interesting as far as the documentaries go. And I say that because there's different cultures. There's going to be a lot of different diversity and variety. But, yeah. That is the idea. And we still have 50 miles to go. Should we sing campfire songs? Camptown races, maybe? Row, 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 row your boat. As William Shatner, Kirk would say from Star Trek V. Do you know row, 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 row your boats? He was asking Spock, and Spock was like, life is not a dream. At least we have a little bit of variety here in the land. So that way it's, I mean, if it was the Commodore 64, or the Amiga for that matter, it would just be one color. Now there's a way to set this up. You would go here to, is it Sim? Yeah. And you can select ground texture small rectangles or large rectangles or big rectangles. Yeah. So I might have accidentally changed something when I hit it, but here we go. That breaks up the monotony even more, so we'll go ahead and leave it on that one. Wow, is it me? Is the fuel actually going down? Or is that my imagination? See, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you know, no, I don't have streets and stuff in here, or little lakes, but at least it's not all monotonous. And I know this is not the most exciting thing to watch, which is why we're just talking and having a conversation. And that's why there's a comments section, so that way you can comment on the flight, anything I've been talking about. I think we're going at a good speed, though. We're going close to 140 knots. That will help so it doesn't take forever getting to our location. And I'm debating on if I want to go ahead and switch aircraft and try another aircraft. I have to look online and see what else there is. To say, with this scenery and aircraft designer, we'll have options. Now, in case you're wondering, what's my work phone? Oh, I keep getting these calls on my work phone about, let us help with your school loan, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a school loan. I don't want your help. Let's see here. Okay, so in case you're wondering if I'm just making up these navigational beacons and just making it appear as though that we're flying in Wisconsin when maybe we're not. Well, one, there's the map that I showed you, the global map, so that gives you kind of an idea there where we're at. But I wanted to show you my actual work that I've been doing. So right here, I've been taking notes as far as you know, what's in what simulator. So here is Red Wing. I put in the longitude and latitude, and then I guess FS98 does have X and Y. I'm guessing because I put FS98 there. But then the river, if you remember from a previous episode, I took screenshots of the Mississippi River from Flight Simulator 98 because it's missing from 5. And I took them at certain points, and then I converted those to XY coordinates. Well, here they are. These are the XY coordinates of the different spots of the river that I created. And then here is Minneapolis. I wrote down the Payware airport that I want to use with right there with FSX. I also put in their notes that this one is in Flight Simulator 5.1. And then here we go. I got longitude and latitude. Here's my conversion. Here's the information for the ILS and the VOR. And I, to keep track, I just put done. But here are all the VORs that I put in here. See this? All of these VORs. So I put all of these in here. And then here are the airports: Litchfield, Chippewa, Rush City. Hinckley is interesting because I found an airport there called Field of Dreams. I thought, oh, that would be a cool one to go to. It was built in 2004. So guess what? It's not and should not be in these older simulators. There's another one called Z-Man, which is the last name of the guy that owns that airport. It's a private airport. So I think the idea is that we'll land at Z-Man on all the simulators, but we'll do a touch and go on the later simulators at Field of Dreams. Then here it goes: Duluth, Grand Rapids, Richard I. Bong, Kennedy Airport, which is in Ashland. So you can see that, you know, I'm it's like someone, you know, when you're doing, you know, like a math problem, they say show your work. I'm showing my work. And I didn't make all that stuff up to make it up. I mean, why? What's the point of doing that? I'm trying to get the most that I can out of this, within reason. like I said, I don't want to sit there and spend a uber amount of time trying to put detailed scenery in areas too, because I'll never get anywhere. If I was doing just one flight simulator, that would be different, but considering that I'm doing all these different flight simulators, yeah, time is of the essence. And as of this date, I still haven't done Flight Simulator 95, and I want to do that one. Although it's halfway between 5 and 98, I still want to get it in there. I've not flown Flight Simulator 95 when it first came out, and I know that one's going to have some fond memories for people, so I would like to, feature that as part of the series for those individuals who have played that one. And I still have yet to do a series on Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2 and 3. We'll get one in there somewhere too. It's a matter of getting it working on an emulator so that way we can record it. I don't know if there's going to be much demand to try to do Sublogic Flight Simulator for like Apple or Atari, because it's essentially going to look the same as the Commodore 64 or the Amiga. So it's but if there's an interest, some Apple or Atari fans want to actually see it, I could do it. I won't have the scenery discs for them, and I really don't have any interest to do them. I might, for just fun, do the first leg of the flight from Meigs to O'Hare, like on the Atari or on the Apple. What was it? Apple IIe or something that was released. And then I could just say, oh yeah, I used this emulator to be able to do it. And then if that gets a lot of views, I can do the second leg and, just go from there. We got 18 miles to go. Might see it. There's a couple of gray spots over here. I know this airport has, oh yeah, I think that's it. I know this airport has ILS, but I don't believe I put them in. I don't know. Let me check my worksheet here and see if I put them in. I don't think I did. Eau Claire, where are you? Where are you, Miss Claire? Yeah, no, I didn't put them in. I don't think we need ILS. We can do a visual landing. Yeah, I can see how there's a little gray spot here and a gray spot there. I believe that is the airport. Now that one I did put some taxiways on, and I got it a little bit closer to what it looks like in reality. I didn't go overboard with it, but I got the general idea. What runways do we have for Eau Claire? Should probably look that up. Let's see here. Okay, don't need that. Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Runway 4, 22, 14, 32. Runway 14 is probably going to be the... No. We're going to want runway 4. Alright. Since the VOR is... on top of the airport, actually the airport's on top of the VOR, I did that first. Let's go ahead and make our turn this way. Let's turn our autopilot off. We're approaching 10 miles. Now, in case you're wondering how to do the views, it's scroll lock and then the corresponding number on the numerical keypad. So 8 if you're looking forward, and 7 if you want to look off to the left at an angle, etc. So yeah, this one's different. You hit scroll lock before you hit one of the number keys. Took me a little bit before I figured that out. 7 miles. I think it's time to get some flaps down. We gotta slow this bird down. Want to give us some level flight here also. Yep, see, you can see the runways there, and I believe we are approaching the one that we want. So let's get ourselves started here on our turn. Slow down some more. We'll put down our landing gear. That'll help. And I see red over white. So it looks like we're on a good descent. like I overshot our turn a little bit. You see the taxiway? We're lined up more at the taxiway than we are the runway. I think that's red over red. There we go. Keep getting blown off here, it looks like. The wind should be turned off. It was getting annoying. We're still coming in kind of hot. Alright, we're almost there, but we are too high. I'm not sure where the altitude is. I thought it was around 600 when I built it. See, I got a tower there. I don't remember if I put a building. Goodness, this is fast. Alright, we got a taxiway right over here. Yeah, it looks like I just put a tower in here. And that's it. Just turn everything off. Alright, so we're here. We're here at Eau Claire. And, well, thanks for joining me, and hope you found this flight interesting with what we've been talking about as far as the work that I've been putting in as far as putting these nav radios, VORs in, and also kind of giving you an idea of where we're going to be going as far as our world tour is concerned. From what you can see, it's going to take a while, but we're going to do a lot of coverage. Anyway, please join me on the next leg of this flight, and also on the other simulators, because we will match this with the other simulators. Okay, until then, take care and be safe out there. For more future flight simulator content, consider leaving a like and subscribing. There's also other videos you might want to check out where we fly this same flight on other flight simulators. Thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you around. Watch out for the birds.